What's up, guys? Going to break down the 2021 kayak bass fishing schedules. They're all pretty much out now. There's a few that are still unofficial, but we're going to go over the ones that kind of reach out and touch my region, mention a few of the others around the country, and then I'll tell you why I picked the ones I picked. Here we go. All right, so first up, I just want to talk about the choices we have in general in 2021. I mean, this year there's more regional series to pick from than there ever has been before. And of course, the local series are kind of the baseline, the grassroots of everything. We've got local series, regional series, and national series to choose from. So as kayak anglers, the options keep getting better and better. I'm going to go over the regional and national series schedules that are out and kind of break down why I like one over the other and give my thoughts on each one as we go through. And then I'll tell you which ones I picked. And, I'm no professional angler, obviously. I'm just a, kayak angler that enjoys tournaments like you guys. So you might wonder why you'd want to watch my schedule video. But really, I just want to engage with you guys in the comments and see which ones you picked and why. So get in the comments and tell me why you picked the tournaments you picked or choose to follow the trail that you follow. I'll try to break down why I choose the tournaments that I do, and hopefully we'll cross paths out there at a few of them. First up, we're going to go over the KBF and BASS schedules. Get those pulled up. First up, BASS. Bass Nation came on the scene last year. There was a lot of hype and a lot of excitement around it. All their events drew a lot of anglers, all across the country. Even though they were new to the game, obviously to the kayak game, Bass has been around for a long time, and that blue trophy and that logo carries a lot of weight. So all their events were attended very well. They expect the same in 21, but there was a big lag in getting the schedule this year. Hobie came out with their schedule back in the fall. KBF dropped an unofficial schedule in the fall as well. Theirs, I think, is finalized now. We'll go over that here in a minute. There were some regional series that popped out there, the Elite Series in the Northeast. The Wild West Bass Trail, I think, has theirs out west. The All-American Kayak Series, which we're going to get to in a minute, came out. But then last was the Bass Nation Series, which there's a lot of frustration out there in the kayak world. I was kind of frustrated with not being able to plan for it. But I understand Bass Nation is a large organization. They got a lot going on besides just the kayak thing. So, makes a little sense that they were delayed. But here we go. Let's break this thing down, see which ones they put out there for us this year. So if everyone didn't see the news, the actual championship from 2020 was pushed into June of 2021 instead of March. So that's going to be on Lake Lewisville in June, and that's going to be a part of my schedule, but it's not on their 2021 open schedule. They're going to start off March 13th, Lake Fork, Texas. They went to Lake Fork last year, had a big event. Cody Milton won that event, put up monster limit. Then May 1st, they're going to the Lake Eufaula in Alabama. That shows up on a few different schedules this year, including the Hobie Championship for the TOC. July 24th, Pickwick Lake in Tennessee. Another well-known lake on all the tournament scenes out there, powerboat and kayak alike. But Pickwick also shows up, I think, 3 times on KBF, Hobie, and now the Bass schedule here. Upper Chesapeake, which is up on the northeast. Some of the northeast guys will say that's really not northeast, but east anyway. And then last but not least, in the upper Mississippi River. La Crosse is always a favorite for a lot of folks just because of the fishery itself. The upper Mississippi River it's beautiful up there. It's very diverse. It's a lot of fun to fish. The town really shows out for kayak anglers. It's a cool place to hang out. So that's the 5 opens that Bass has put out. I was kind of disappointed they didn't go with 2-day events this time around. I was hoping after last year dipping their toe in with the 1-day events that they would go with a 2-day event this year, but they chose to stick with the 1 days. But the championship on Lewisville, which is a controversy in itself, a lot of people weren't too excited with Lewisville. We're hoping, fingers crossed, that gets bumped or changed to a different lake with the Classic reschedule into June. Lewisville is a 2-day event, so the championship will be a 2-day event, but all these opens are 1-dayers, unfortunately. So next up, we talk about the KBF schedule. See if I can get it pulled up here. There we go. The KBF schedule came out, like I said, early. It was, quote, unofficial for a while, and I think this is official. I'm not sure. If anyone followed KBF in the past, they had a very robust schedule between onlines and trails and super trails and tried to do a pro tour last year. They've consolidated a lot this year. And in an attempt to consolidate, they've put multiple events on the same weekend. So if you look at that schedule there, for example, at Kissimmee to start out the season, it's January 30th and 31st. That's not a 2-day event. That's 2 one-day events. So it's 2 separate entry fees, 2 separate winners. I really don't like that. I understand for efficiency purposes and for maybe for AOY points, whatever they're doing, that's why they did that. I don't like that, though, because to me it kind of takes away from the winners of both of those, because who's the winner of the weekend? I mean, if somebody wins Saturday and then a different guy or girl wins Sunday, who really won the event? Is it the one with the most entries, the one who had the most inches on that day, or what? You know, we just going to manually go add up the 2 days if the angler fished both days, try to figure that out on our own? I don't know. I don't like that. I'll go through their schedule real quick. Kissimmee, Florida. The first 2 events, I think those go in conjunction with 2 other events they have, the 10 Invitational and 10 down there in January 30th and 31st. Lake Murray, South Carolina, out on the East Coast, February 27th and 28th, 2 separate events, like I said. There's Pickwick again, like you see above on that bass schedule. Pickwick shows up in March, different time of year at least. Once again, 2 events, same weekend. Trinity River in Texas. I'm not really sure how that's going to go with the Trinity River system and what kind of water that gives kayak anglers to access down there. I've heard there's some access challenges. I'm not sure. That'll be on April 10th and 11th. The Potomac River, which is a tidal fishery out on the East Coast again, May 1st and 2nd. Candlewood, Connecticut. I'm not familiar with that body of water at all, but some of the Northeast guys say it's a good lake. May 22nd, 23rd. Lake St. Clair in Michigan, that's a bucket list lake for everybody, so I'm sure that'll be well attended one or both days up there, June 5th and 6th. Then East-West Harbor, which is also the Great Lakes up there, Saturday, July 24th and Sunday, July 25th. Then out to California they go for Clear Lake, and they do 3 events, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 separate events. 3 separate entry fees. Once again, I think that's weird, but that's how they chose to do it this year. Then they finish up at Kentucky Lake, September 4th and September 5th. Kentucky Lake's had its struggles lately, and I think maybe this is the only national trail that Kentucky Lake shows up on this year, which is kind of strange. Then of course KBF's granddaddy, the KBF National Championship, has now permanently moved to the fall, if I understand correctly. So Shreveport, that was a big hit at Caddo Lake and those surrounding lakes last time. It'll probably put out, I don't know how the fall fishes compared to the spring, but it'll probably put out big limits again. So Shreveport for their national championship. All right. The next couple schedules. These are the ones I'm really excited about. You'll see when I show you my schedule, I'm really kind of locked in on these. The Hobie Bass Open Series announced their schedule back in the fall. It gets started here pretty soon. I mean, it's mid-January and just coming right up. Lake Seminole is going to kick things off down in Georgia, February 6th and 7th. All the Hobie events this year are 2-day events, just like they were during the debut season. So 2-day events. The championship, however, will be 3-day event. They're doing away with the shootout, and it'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday championship. Still waiting for all the details with the Hobie 2021 rules and regs, but schedule looks legit. We said when it came out, I think this thing stacks up against any pro, bass boat tournament circuit out there as far as the quality of lakes and how they're spread out and the time of year that they chose to put them on those lakes. So Seminole in early February starts it out. Watts Bar Lake, Knoxville, Tennessee. Also in February, so just 2 weeks later, February 20th and 21st. Broken Bow in Oklahoma, that's one I'm jacked about. That's close to here, Broken Bow Lake. March 6th and 7th, that's kind of an unheralded body of water nationally, but I think that's really going to show out for folks. Lake Dardanelle, they're coming back here to Arkansas where I'm at, so I didn't do as well as I wanted to last year down there, so I'm glad they're coming back April 17th and 18th. Lake Hartwell in South Carolina, well-known fishery out on the East Coast, May 15th and 16th. Then Lake Sam Rayburn shows up really for the first time on a national tournament schedule, which I've been wondering why it hasn't for a couple of years now. June 5th and 6th, Sam Rayburn. That could be a really good one, a lot of fun. I'm sure that'll be big attendance for that. Lake Champlain, another well-known Northeast fishery. That's going to be a big event up in the Newark area. I know the Northeast folks have been clamoring for a Hobie event. They really showed up for the Susquehanna event last year, so here they go up to Lake Champlain. June 26th and 27th. Then a month later, they come back up to the Northeast to the Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania, which was a big event last year, and a lot of fun for the anglers that made that trip to that bucket list river. Mississippi River lacrosse shows up again. Excuse me. Bass had it on their schedule. And then here it is for the Bass Open Series as well, except theirs is a 2-day event. So this kind of perks my interest a little more. I'd rather make that trip for a 2-day event. And then Lake Pickwick shows up again here on another national schedule, September 18th and 19th. And that's the last Bass Open Series event of the year until the Hobie Tournament of Champions in November. And then, like I said, it's a 3-day event this year. And then this next one is a new series that's just starting this year. Anyone that saw the All-American Classic last year, it kind of took the place of the old Tournament of Champions. It was an awesome event. Josh Booth, Tyler Cole put that on in Missouri at Truman Lake. Can't say enough about how well that went. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I figured those guys would put on a good show, but they blew it out of the water. Huge event, big turnout. And they popped off and built off of that with a new series of the same name, the All-American Kayak Series. There's going to be an AOY race with this thing. There's going to be qualification spots to the All-American Classic, of course. The Classic will still be able to pull anglers out of local trails that partner with them, so no worry there. You don't have to fish this trail to make it to the Classic. But this is the kind of regional trail, I think, that's needed out there for anglers that can't really travel to the Bass Open Series events or the BASS events or whatever, but they still want to fish for a little more money, and it's a little closer to home. So this is their 2021 Midwest Tournament Trail schedule. Starts out in April 3rd at Lake Ouachita in Arkansas. May 5th on Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. May 15th, Lake Okoboji in Iowa. I'm not sure if I said that right. June 12th, Lake Wilson in Kansas, which is a smaller lake, but a lot of fun to fish. Mississippi River shows up in July 10th. Pools 8, 9, and 10. Then on August 7th, they go back up to Wisconsin, the Madison chain of lakes. 8/21, a little closer to me, which is Lake Tenkiller down in Oklahoma, another kind of unheralded lake nationally, but awesome place to fish, holds big smallmouth and good largemouth. 9/11, Lewis and Clark Lake in South Dakota. I've heard a lot about the smallmouth fishing up there too. And then 10/2 on Truman Lake, where the actual championship for them will be as well a month later. Truman Lake in Missouri, which has put out some big limits for some of the Missouri events they've had over the years there too. So there, those are the schedules that kind of reach out and touch my area. There's, like I said, a few more national/regional. Well, I shouldn't say national. A few more regional trails. The Elite Series up in the Northeast that folks up there should check out. The Wild West Bass Trail out west. I think it's based out of California, but it touches all those West Coast states. Check that Kayak Series out too. That's a big one, but I'm not going to go over those here because I don't even have an opportunity to fish these. I'm going over the ones that kind of reach out and touch my region. So there we go. So I'm going to give you a peek at my schedule. So I'm going to start off with that Hobie Bass Open Series event on Broken Bow Lake, March 6th and 7th. I'm not going to make their first two events. Broken Bow is one of my favorite lakes. When I heard they were going there was no way I was going to miss that. That hosted the Beavers Bend Classic the last, I think, 5 or 6 years. I made almost every one of those. I did really well in most of those events. Beautiful lake, no homes on it. There's only one marina, no docks. It's pretty much clear water. It's got all 3 species in it. It's got some standing timber, a lot of rock, but it's a lot of natural cover and structure. Not much man-made stuff out there. Be a lot of fun to fish for folks that have never been there before. Then event number 2 for me is going to be in April. I'm going to fish the All-American Kayak Series event on Lake Ouachita. That'll be their debut series event. I came up fishing around Hot Springs with my father-in-law. He actually taught me to fish on Lake Ouachita, so that event being there, I couldn't be more excited to get down and try to fish there again. Third event for me is going to be the Hobie Bass Open Series on Lake Dardanelle. So glad they're coming back to Arkansas again, and Dardanelle's a fun fishery. Everybody that made that trip last year really, really had a good time. I think Russ Snyder's even said it may have been his favorite, one of his favorite bodies of water for the year, just because of the diversity and the different places you could launch there. I'll be going down there April 17th and 18th. Fourth event of the year for me, the All-American Kayak Series Lake of the Ozarks event. I'm going to go up there in May, try to hit that event. Then down to Sam Rayburn June 5th and 6th. For the Hobie Bass Open Series event. I've never been to Sam Rayburn. That's a bucket list event or bucket list lake anyway for me, so I can't wait to get down there and fish that. The Bass Nation Championship on Lake Louisville, June 9th and 10th, which is in the middle of the week. I plan on going to that, but I'm really, to be honest, still up in the air just because I don't know if I want to burn a whole week off to fish Lake Louisville. So if you're familiar with Lake Louisville, tell me if it's worth the trip. I'm unfamiliar with it. There's been a lot of back and forth about whether to go there or not. Is it dangerous in June? For right now, it's on the schedule, but we'll see how things play out. Seventh event for me is going to be Lake 10 Killer with the All-American Kayak Series again in August. It's going to be hot in August there, but still should be pretty good fishing. And then number 8 for me will be the Bass Open Series up on the Cross on the Upper Mississippi River, August 28th and 29th. I just love going up there. You're not going to go up there and bust 100 inches 2 days or anything like some of these southern lakes, but it's just such a different place to fish. I never want to miss a chance to go up there. And the 9th event for me is the All-American Kayak Series again on Truman Lake, October 2nd. And depending on all those go, October 22nd, I'll be at that All-American Kayak Classic to fish their championship. And then, fingers crossed, my number one goal for the year is to make the Hobie Bass Open Series Tournament of Champions on Lake Eufaula in early November, November 12th through the 14th. But, like I said, we'll have to see how things go. Now, there's a lot more events out there than what I have listed here. This is just my plan for now. Of course, I'm going to fish local events with my crew here, the Natural State Kayak Anglers, and fish our state championship and fish local events, but I didn't put those and bore you with the details on those events on the schedule. But for now, these are the 9 I'm going to hit nationally, regionally. There could be 1 or 2 more that squeak in there or replace the ones that you see. But it's going to be a lot of fun. 2021 is going to be fun. Hopefully we can be over the COVID and get back to hanging out and having some captains meetings and weigh-ins where we're all together. Where are you guys going to fish? That's what I want to know. Maybe we'll cross paths out there. What do you think of all the schedules? Put that stuff down in the comments. And hopefully we'll see you out on the road for the tournament schedules or for the tournament trails in 2021. It's going to be fun. Thank you all for watching.